Even though it wasn't planned at first, not too long ago, Ford announced that the Ford Bronco will be arriving in Europe. Yep, Ford is indeed bringing their brash off-roader to the old continent in limited numbers at some point in 2023. Not exactly at the top of the list of cars that are in no way, shape, or form suitable for Europe, but definitely way up there. In any case, this is great news. I'm a fan of the Ford Bronco, and I think that this is a great idea, especially considering that Jeep offers the Wrangler in Europe. There is just one hurdle that the Bronco needs to jump over. Get it? Sorry. That one hurdle is, of course, European regulations. Do I think that in its current state the Ford Bronco will pass European emission standards? Not a chance. So, join me as I speculate what Ford might be forced into doing with the Bronco to make it pass our fussy regulations. First, and perhaps most likely, the Bronco will get a lot more emissions-suppressing equipment. This is the easiest way to calm down the Bronco's digestion problems, as its powertrains aren't exactly the cleanest. This would also probably mean a reduction in power. Need proof of the latter? Check out the Ranger Raptor. The Ranger Raptor in Europe will have about 100 less horsepower than in North America or Australia. 100 less! That's like a light bulb glowing half as bright in one fixture, but glowing with its regular brightness in a different fixture. There is no doubt in my mind that when the Bronco does arrive in Europe, they will affix a gasoline particulate filter to make it more fitting with our regulations. That's all well and fine, and perhaps predictable, but more importantly, I would like to talk about what might happen with the powertrains themselves. For context, in North America, the Bronco gets 3 powertrains. A 2.3-liter turbo 4-cylinder, a 2.7-liter turbo V6, and a 3-liter turbo V6 in the Bronco Raptor. I don't think it takes a genius to realize that at least 2 of those powertrains won't exactly fit the bill in Europe. How would Ford get around this problem? Electrification is the obvious way, but it seems unlikely to me because I'm pretty sure that the platform the Bronco uses doesn't have the hardware necessary to make a hybrid system work. An electric Bronco will undoubtedly happen at some point, but I think that Ford will use a different platform to make that happen. However, there is something else that the current Bronco's platform does allow. You see, the Bronco shares its platform with the T6, or rather, the current Ranger pickup truck. That is a vehicle that Ford offers in Europe with a diesel engine. You see where I'm getting at with this? There is something else to consider, however. The Ranger is a light commercial vehicle by classification in Europe, which means that the regulations are a little more lenient when it comes to emissions. The Bronco is a passenger vehicle, meaning it doesn't get to enjoy the same privileges. However, as diesel is still the de facto way to make a car more European friendly, as stuff like the Kia Stinger, the Maserati Levante, the Bentley Bentayga, the Mazda CX-60, and countless others can attest to, this is likely the most sensical way for Ford to bring the Bronco to Europe. A diesel Bronco would make sense in Europe not just because of the legal question, but there's also the market demand to consider. People in Europe, especially those who are after off-roaders, want diesel power for bigger vehicles like this. In Macedonia, for example, the Land Cruiser and the Hilux pickup truck are the only vehicles that Toyota still offers with a diesel engine. Jeep also offers a diesel Wrangler in Europe. The main point here is, it would just make so much sense for Ford to install a diesel engine for the Bronco in Europe, hopefully to get around some of the emissions concerns, but also to appeal to our slightly different palates. Finally, there's one more thing we need to talk about, and that's what's going to happen to the Bronco Raptor. Well, that's actually the easiest one to answer, or at least the easiest one to speculate about. There are 3 and only 3 possible outcomes. One is the Bronco Raptor arrives in Europe with 100 less horsepower or something like the Ranger Raptor. 2, the Bronco Raptor arrives in Europe with a beefed up diesel engine like the previous Ranger Raptor. And finally, 3, the Bronco Raptor doesn't arrive in Europe at all. So that's what I think will happen to the Ford Bronco in Europe. It's nice of Ford that they'll actually bring it over, and I can totally understand why it'll be in limited quantities. I'm not sure if that means limited order slots per year or a fixed amount of cars for the entire production run, or I'm not really sure. Unfortunately, the latter option seems like the most likely simply because of Euro 7. If the Euro 7 regulations actually definitely come into force by July 2025, I don't think the Bronco would survive that. Euro 7 is reported to be so taxing that it will drive up the cost of small internal combustion engine cars to the point where it no longer makes sense to sell them, as Volkswagen commented not too long ago. In any case, it's a bold move from Ford to make a promise to offer the Bronco in Europe at all. and I'm definitely hoping to get some seat time in it. So that's gonna be about it for this video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think will happen to the Ford Bronco in Europe in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.